Wahine.
And my name is George Quinn. In top of the stories is Electoral Commission expected to make final determination on Dome-Kwabenya constituency after undertaking recollation of results for 2 polling stations. We'll take you live to the Greater Accra EC office shortly.
Also, this afternoon, transition team received reports from various subcommittees ahead of the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama.
And you remember we are live on DSTV channel 279. Let's begin from the Electoral Commission. And the Commission is expected to make a decision on the way forward for Dome-Kwabenya after undertaking the recollation of results for 2 polling stations in the constituency. The NDC candidate, Faustina Eliklun Akurugu, had earlier been declared the winner, securing 51,634 votes, narrowly defeating the MPP candidate, Mike Okwe Jr., who garnered 50,477 votes. However, the Electoral Commission insists that 3 polling stations remain outstanding and must be addressed. When the recollation of the 2 polling stations was done today, a difference of 165 votes existed. The 3rd polling station is said to have 669 registered voters whose results could sway the constituency either way. Now, let's cross over to the Greater Accra Regional Electoral Commission office at Ridge and engage my colleague, Marina Egbata. Marina, good to have you on Weekend Central. What more can you tell us this afternoon?
Right, and so, George, all is said and done with respect to the Dome-Kwabenya constituency, no clear winner with respect to the Member of Parliament for the 9th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. The Electoral Commission says that difference, which we've been speaking to, 165, if we return to that 1 polling station, the Abokobi Women Development Center, that's the name of the polling station we're being given this afternoon. It has about 600 voters, registered voters, in that particular polling station, and it can't overturn the result. Hence, it is looking the more and more likely that there will be a rerun. As to the dates for the rerun, that's not quite clear. That's the position of the Electoral Commission, who say that they are returning Dr. Siribo Kweku, who is the Director of Training, and then Mr. Banabio, who is the Director of Electoral Services of the Commission. They were the officials who oversaw the Dome-Kwabenya recollation. They said they are taking the report back to the commissioners for a decision to be made as to when the rerun for that polling station will be conducted. But for both parties, the NPP and then the NDC, they seem to have a very different opinion with respect to the Form 1C, which is the coalition sheet, because all of the 369 polling stations now which have been captured on that coalition sheet, they say one for the NPP will start there. They make the case that they don't believe that the numbers are a true reflection of what they got on the ground. They say they are going back, they are going to look at the coalition sheet and then their pink sheet vis-a-vis, compare, and then return to the headquarters of the Electoral Commission and make known their disagreements with regards to the numbers not tallying. The NDC is making the same argument. In fact, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer says that when the earlier declaration was made, they were leading with some 51,000 votes. But today, we've seen that reduced to around 50,700 and something. They cannot understand the disparity in just 1 polling station being taken out, resulting in over 1,000 votes lost. And so they as well are going to do their own summations with respect to the coalition sheets, the Form 1C that they have, and then return as well to the headquarters of the Electoral Commission, because they believe Eliklun Akurugu has won the elections. And so that's really a summation of everything that's transpired. It's been a long, tedious process with misunderstanding. There were 3 outstanding polling stations which have been communicated by and large by the Electoral Commission, Today, when we got here, Michael Quay Jr. said he was a part of the process until it was left with 88 polling stations, and so demanded that the commission takes it from the 88. That resulted in a long standoff, a long debate, but finally they agreed on to dealing with the three. Two has been sorted out. There's one outstanding, and it looks like we have a tame situation sort of on our hands this time, only in respect to just one polling station within the Dome-Kwabenya constituency.
Marina, before I let you go, I know it's either Eli Plim or Michael Quay Jr. who will be part of the 9th Parliament. I want you to give us a poster of these candidates. Also, just walk us through the figures again.
For the figures, I will not want to misinform by way of quoting numbers that don't quite tally, but it was 50,732 for Eli Plim Akurugu. That readily comes off of the top of my head, but there's a voter difference of 165 between the two. In terms of a posturing, it's difficult to be able to tell. Michael Quay, a bit agitated, wanting to have things done because he believes that he's not been a part of the process. In fact, he's made the argument consistently that when the coalition was done, which led to the declaration of Eli Plim Akurugu, he was not informed as to where it was going to happen at. And so he feels a lot of ill has happened, reason for which he's making the case that the entire 88 polling stations be taken again. But for Eli Plim Akurugu and her husband who were present, confident that they won the election, and they are insisting that the remainder of the polling stations be taken through the paces, and then a declaration can be made. But we still remain to see really what the next step will be. It's looking like it's a rerun, but no clear dates just as yet as to when that will happen, George.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Before, we'll let hear from the Electoral Commission official on this very decision. Well, Marina Gbeta is a reporter, and he is stationed at the EC regional office in Accra at Ridge, and he will bring us up to speed on this very development in our subsequent bulletin. Safwa.
All right. Thank you, Mawena, for bringing us all of that update. But let's still remain on the issue of collation and recollation and take you to the Supreme Court, because on Friday announced recollated parliamentary election results for Kaikwe Central, Ablekuma North, Tema Central, and Techiman South, overturning the Electoral Commission's EC declarations for these constituencies. The Electoral Commission had declared the incumbent MP Martin J. Mensah Kosa as Member of Parliament elect following recollation of results. Correspondent Belinda Tete has been engaging some residents of Techiman South following the decision made by the Supreme Court.
Aftermath of the elections in the Techiman South constituency, which had the NDC's parliamentary candidate as the winner of the constituency seat, the later recollation from the EC side had the MP's incumbent MP in the person of J. Mensah Kosa as the winner declared by the EC. A recent development this afternoon by the Supreme Court says it does not agree with the High Court's demand, which gave the EC the right to do the recollation for the Techiman South constituency. According to the Supreme Court, it finds the EC's recollation as null and void, and is therefore ordering the High Court to give another hearing to the NDC side. I am here at the Techiman South constituency to engage some party supporters to see how they are receiving this news.
Now, idea ne court say manage home because you dey create to aba Emma Christopher Basonte Bayre. Nti ba say MP focus omo win ne ntiase. Tini ehwe de Supreme Court no mbeka. Tine yakoma so apade no na omaye.
Yan sanko to ko pro na piade na pese sanko ko to ko pro ya e ba hu no kore anokore so ne Supreme Court so aka asem de emaye so yeni age said the omoye no
because the chima obi ayo say buy rafa but the sense ma wote na kire nyefe MPP the obi ayo say NDC seat safa say there. So what's the MPP ni biya babia eye ntawantawa na MPP ni raba
anani ye hu say eye forcer na aye dey awene because there just say forcer kra elidi by omo be say 3,000 votes. There's a 4,000 I win. But meaning, maybe I say, no, person offer. Kultuna see the say the omoye before the meeting because of NDC about power and tira. I may be a open some years sadia near the meeting or any say a 4,000 I win.
This name so declare ba any Supreme Court. By the pen input to the input to the brain. This is the minimum say. Since I may many fee, I'm the Chima High Sea. So far, the question about who's a wide. Why never be bride? I'm at the minimum. No, the minimum who know me.
I am here with Bono East Regional Communications Officer Mustafa Mohammed Suleiman.
I would say the ruling by the Supreme Court is a judgment for democracy, because aftermath of the declaration at Techiman South, the EC called for recoalition at the national level, which we felt wasn't proper, because we filed an ex parte to join, and none of our evidences were even looked at. The judge went ahead to give a ruling that they should go ahead and do the recoalition. We did not appear because we felt we have been shortchanged. Immediately, our head of legal committee, in the person of lawyer Agri-business, in fact, he did very well. Immediately, he filed at the Supreme Court, though with even a stay of execution. The EC went ahead, the IGP went ahead, they mobilized the police, the military, went and cordoned the whole area, and they did the illegality. Today, God being so good, the case was heard at the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court went ahead to quash those illegal declarations that were done.
So what next move are you expecting from both the High Court and the Supreme Court?
Yes, now that the High Court has been given the order to go and hear our case, we are of the view that when our case is heard, definitely the right thing will be done.
And what is the right thing?
The right thing is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama being sworn, as well as Dr. Christopher Bahasunti Bayere, the MP-elect for Techiman South, also be sworn in.
Okay. Yes. Do you foresee a possible re-election in the constituency for the parliamentary side?
I don't foresee it.
Okay.
I don't foresee, because we have our figures. Yes. But as both of us are aware, the wheel of justice grinds slowly. It will surely get to its destination. So let's wait for the court system. I wouldn't preempt.
You heard from Mustafa. He is the communications person, the regional communications person for the National Democratic Congress. And he tells me that the Supreme Court's ruling, it goes in the right direction. And so, as he says, the wheel of justice moves slowly. So let's just wait for the final declaration or the final decision by the Supreme Court or the High Court. TV3 News, I am Belinda Tete, Bono East Region, Techiman South.
Let's just stay on the disputed parliamentary seat and take you back to the EC regional office. Let's hear from the EC, represented by Dr. Srebo Kweku, who is the Director of Training, NDC. That's Dr. Rashid Tanko, Director of Elections and IT, and Martin Kosa, who is the Director of Elections of the NPP.
They have concluded collating 367 polling station results. They were left with 3 of the results. And the 3 of the results were brought later. And the commission rejected one of it outrightness on the sense that it was declared on a wrong statement of poll, because they used training sheet, which is not the one that they should use. So the commission has rejected one. So we tried to come and add the 2 and see what happens. So when we added the 2 based on their statistics, the difference between the 2 candidates is now 165. Then the one that was rejected, the total number of voters was 669, meaning that if you give that number to the second person, he will overtake the first person. So it means that you have to go and rerun election at that polling station. So that's the decision. What's the name of the polling center, please? I don't have it offhand, so I can't tell you.
How soon is the commission going to take a decision? The name again? Abokobi Women's Development Center 2.
So we are sending our report to the commission. Then the commission will take a decision on when it should be done. But you are sure that it will be done before they are inaugurated? Yes.
You are sure all these things are not working against your timelines?
I'm saying that you are sure that will be done before the inauguration.
Thank you. So that's Dr. Shobo Kweku, Director of Elections for the NPP, Evan Simako. Let's get a few words from him.
Yes, I think that we behaved in a mature manner as parties. We had an IPAC conversation. The youth informed us that there are 3 polling stations outstanding. We've looked at it. What tells us now is that there's the need to rerun in 1 polling station. We are going to go back and talk to our base. This is an election the New Patriotic Party has shown a lot of maturity. We've really taken on board all those unnecessary confrontations from our opponents, but it's in the good of Ghana. The message from the candidate, Dr. Baumia, was that before, during, and after the election, there must be peace in Ghana. And it is what the New Patriotic Party is exhibiting. What we've gone through. Strangely, we had not been given the Form 1C, which is the collation sheet. Our colleagues had them. Thank God today we've gotten copy. We are going to look at each one of them from 1 polling station to the other. Mind you, there are 370 polling stations. And so we are going to look at each one of them as they are represented on the collation sheet. And we'll come back. So this is a process that is still ongoing. It's also clear to everybody that what may have occurred at the constituency was not right. So we'll go through.
You said you guys had it from 1C of them. Why is it that they had it and you couldn't get it?
I think that the EC should be in the position to answer. You need to find out from the returning officer why they were able to give copy to the NDC, but will not give us copy. In fact,
you were not present. You were not present there.
We were here because we were not given information as to the collation that was supposed to go on. So we were not there. But we met here for a continuous collation. The EC we work with, the returning officer, and the DEO didn't mention anything of Form 1C, but it's in the good of it. The New Patriotic Party is going to go back to the constituency. We'll work out with our people. We know that the good people of Dome-Kwabenya will give our candidate, Michael Aaron Jr., the vote that he would need to go to Parliament to represent them very well in the 9th Parliament.
So do you want a rerun of the elections at that particular polling station?
The decision from the Commission is that there's going to be a rerun in that polling station, and that's what we are going to do.
Are we going to see active campaigning from the NDC?
Everybody who is supposed to be on the register, the New Patriotic Party is going to reach out to them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Evan Simako as well, seeking to suggest that they believe some level of irregularity. Let's speak to Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer as well. Doc, talk to us. What you said is what has happened. The expectation is that there will be a rerun of some sort. Are you satisfied with the process thus far, and how is the party preparing for that rerun in that polling station?
Well, let me make it very clear. We have not reached any final conclusion on this yet, because they themselves, they have problem with their additions. The additions they came out with, it's not a true reflection of what happened. You remember when they did the declaration on the D-Day, interestingly enough, they had soft copies of the results of the 3 polling stations, and they declared Madam Akrugu by 51,000 plus, and Makukwe had 50,000. So there was a difference of 1,154. Very huge difference. So today, if you are having problem with 1 polling station, that 1 polling station should be taken out, and that 1 polling station total votes are 689. So when you take out 689 from 1,157, your guess is as good as. It's a simple arithmetic. You see the problem I have with this commission? They always have a problem with arithmetic. That's their problem. So they said they were relying on a laptop to do calculation. Do we do electronic calculation in Ghana? Our results are manual. We go by the pink sheets and we go by the collation form. The collation form is what is known as the Form 1C. Then the summary sheet is the Form 1D. So we have taken the Form 1C. We'll do the calculation for them and bring it back. These people are
so what, your votes have been reduced?
Completely. We completely disagree with it because on the face of it, they themselves know that when you declared her, she was leading with about 1,154. So if you are expanding one, and the one total votes is 689, this one is a primary school mathematics. It's not algebra.
So
it's not logarithm.
You feel that the 165 is a decrease in your calculation?
Of course, they have problem with arithmetic. We are going to do the calculation and bring it back. We told them they should hold their horses. We are doing the calculation ourselves. Our opponents also pick one. They should also go and enter. We'll go and enter. Simple Excel sheet, and we'll get it.
Doesn't mean that the NDC is not going to campaign.
There's no rerun. She has won.
The EC just told us. That there's going to be a rerun.
I am saying that they have a problem with their arithmetic. It's their own document. You remember when we did registration, they were doing wrong calculations. Coral draw people. I'm not surprised you they've used Coral draw. No, I'm saying we have won the election.
So that means you're not going to campaign back at Abokobi station?
Campaign, you are talking. I say we have won the election. You are talking. The document will show. Let's come back. We are coming back with it. We'll go and sit down, do the arithmetic for them.
We're keeping close tabs on Dome-Kwabenya constituency, and we'll be bringing you more updates right here on your election command center. But away from the elections, in 2024, Ghana's agricultural sector face significant challenges that threaten food security as well as the livelihoods of many farmers, especially in the northern regions of the country. The northern regions, including the Upper East, Upper West, and northern regions, which rely heavily on rain-fed agriculture, were impacted by the drought. This caused widespread food shortages and pushed many farmers into financial hardship as they struggled to recover from the crop failures. In addition to the drought, Ghana faced rising food prices in 2024, which added to the difficulties already experienced by consumers and farmers. The price hikes were felt across the country, especially in urban areas where inflation in food costs strained household budgets. In response to these challenges, the government, in collaboration with various agricultural stakeholders, introduced several initiatives aimed at addressing both the drought and rising food prices. Let's be speaking with Dr. Charles Nyaba, who is a former Executive Director, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, PFAG. Doc, season's greetings to you. And the year 2024, how would you assess the agri sector? Hello, Doc.
Thanks so much.
Right, sure.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Loud and clear.
Yeah, thanks so much. I think elections are over. Even a day of the election, I think when we all get back home, we are thinking of what to eat. So it's time to now think of agriculture. What happened in 2024, I think is partly caused by leadership. The drought spell was something that we foresaw. We said this because if you keep getting changes in climate, season over season, what you need to do is to put in interventions that will ensure that when it occurs, you minimize the impact on your activities. We failed to do that. We started the year by campaigning. We even met the then Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on the issue of Polgo multipurpose dam and the fact that that dam alone was enough to create a lot of jobs when rain doesn't come in the dry season. But nothing was actually taken into consideration. Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2 was a fantastic program that we jointly developed with the ministry. I was personally part of the conceptualization. When it came to the actual implementation, the ministry failed to go by what we all agreed on. And it's part of the reasons why cost of production went so high. Many farmers, apart from the drought spell, many farmers actually pulled out of 2024 production. So the few farmers who went in with their own resources today are making a lot of money because prices of those commodities that we produce are very, very high. Today, rice, a packet of rice sack that we used to sell at 500 Ghana cedis. You go to the farm gate, farmers are selling it 1,100 Ghana cedis. Look at the poultry sector. We used to cry the fact that poultry farmers are not getting feed, the cost was so high. Nobody mind us. Because if you increase cost of production of the raw material, specifically maize and soya beans, the farmers will have to pass on the cost to the buyer. In this case, the poultry farmer. The maize alone constitutes about 70% of cost of poultry production. So most poultry farmers have to call up their farms. I have poultry farm myself. Today, in the morning, you have buyers queuing to just take the eggs. And we are not able to provide to them because many of the other poultry farms collapse. So we see this sense as the major cause of our suffering in 2024. The area that we keep advising the previous government and the failed to listen is imposing of taxes on agro inputs. We told them clearly that we are making consumers to pay double tax. If you impose a tax on fertilizer, on tractor, on agrochemicals, on medication to the farmer cannot produce at the same cost and sell it to the consumer at the same cost. The farmer will have to sell the cost to the consumer. So that also compounded our cost of production, leading to increase in costs of the commodities in the market. So we are very hopeful. We had the opportunity of engaging John Mahama himself. We engaged Dome-Kwabenya prior to the elections. And we made a series of proposals. There are other people who are proposing that the incoming government should scrap the planting for food and jobs. I think I hold a different opinion because the concept that we jointly developed was very good. It captures most of the things that the NDC government said they were going to do. It has a component that talks about credit to farmers. It has a component that talks about mechanization. It has a component that talks about marketing. And these are critical areas if you actually want to, agriculture sector to thrive. The youth today are not interested in agri because of these factors. So if you're able to implement a project that ensures that they don't use hoes and cutlass to farm, but they'll have access to tractors, combine harvesters, tracers. I'm telling you, you have most of our youth who are looking for non-existing jobs going into agriculture. And once that happens, you see increase in food supply and prices will come down. So we are hoping that when the president is sworn in, maybe we will have opportunity to re-engage him to look at all these areas and see how we can move the sector forward.
Okay, thank you, Doc. So lastly, before I let you go, people complain of rising food prices in 2024, particularly despite Ghana having embarked on planting for food and jobs. And what do you think really accounted for that? And do you think it's still relevant with the new administration coming into power in January 2025?
Yeah, so as I said, you see, the planting for food and job program deviated from the concept we jointly developed. I am a key member. If you ask the Agri-Minister, he will tell you. Myself and my group were key members of people who input into that initiative. And we listed the areas we all agreed. When it came to the implementation, they politicized the whole time. So you saw a situation where inputs were given to MPs to distribute to farmers. We saw a situation where inputs were given to DCs, where those inputs, basic fertilizer, were locked up and were distributed in night for party food soldiers. So once you do that, some of these food soldiers were not actual farmers. I can still talk with authority that today, we still have some of those fertilizers being stored. They were never used because they were landed in wrong hands. And those people are not farmers, so they are also looking to sell them. So by the end of the day, the farmer has to actually fight for his own factors to be able to produce. It's one of the areas. Secondly, they got to a point where the ministry were not ready to listen to real farmers when they talk. There were people who are never closer to farms. They don't know what was going on there. But because the ministry have to give to their cronies, the inputs and all the supports went to those hands. Apart from that, the way the planting for food and job phase 2 were designed, the concept itself, I'm looking for opportunity to advise the current government. I don't think we need to just do away with it. There are portions of it which I think is fantastic, but when it came to the implementation, it was ignored. For instance, we talk about private sector leg, which was part of the planning for food and job phase 2, where the government just play a facilitation role and linking the private service provider with the financial institutions, they get finances, provide those services to a central body called aggregator. That aggregator link.
Hello, Doc. Oh, unfortunately, we have lost Doc, but Dr. Charles Nyaba is a former executive director for Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, and we were speaking to him, but probably we will definitely get back to this conversation again. George.
Thanks, Afua. And let's still see on agriculture, because the Chamber of Agri-Business Ghana is making a significant move to support Ghanaian agri-food SMEs in cross-border trade with other ECOWAS countries through the ECOWAS Agricultural Trade Program. According to Chief Executive Anthony Morrison, the initiative aims to create over 10,000 direct jobs among 500 small and medium-scaled enterprises across the country.
The Chamber will launch the Ghana Agri-Business Club 1000, SMEs Club 1000. Now, this is also to enhance the profitability and also the credibility of these agri-businesses to access finance and also trade. This program is critical because it helps the SMEs to promote sub-regional trade, not only within the Ghanaian, but also within our competing all other friendly economic countries like Nigeria, Togo, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Senegal, Cameroon, and what have you.
We're still watching Weekend Central here on TV3 with myself and Safwa. We're going for a quick commercial break. We're back shortly. Stay with us.
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have locked in the same perfect multi-bet. Big win for United.
responded to a total of 48 fire incidents this year compared to last year's 114. Correspondent Akwesiado joins me live with details. Akwesiado, many thanks for joining us here on Weekend Central. We want you to tell us about the challenge facing the Weija Municipal Fire Office.
Okay, so this is very critical in the sense that the Weija Fire Station also serves as a backup for the fire station in Kaswa and Bujumbura, as well as Dansman and other areas. And so when there is a fire outbreak that is very intense and would require additional support, the Weija Fire Station is always deployed to offer assistance. But since October this year, the track has been out of commission. And even before the track became out of commission, it used to be developing ports that required urgent attention. And so it has been very difficult for the Weija Fire Station to be up to task. And so currently what's happening is that anytime there is a fire situation within the Weija enclave, they do not have to either rely on Dansoman, Kaswa, or Bujumbura. And we do know that when there is fire outbreak, response time is very key. And so recently, there was a vehicular fire at around Broadcasting, which is not too far away from the base of the Weija Fire Station. But by the time the fire tender from Dansoman arrived, the vehicle had burned totally. And so the officers at the Weija Station is very much concerned, and legal authorities to do something about the situation.
The authorities and the Weija Municipal Fire officers have been saying about this challenge.
Okay.
Let's take a listen.
I have been speaking to
2024 under review has been a great challenge for Ghana National Fire Service, especially Weija Fire Station. Why am I saying so? We have only one appliance, and it's been on and off for a number of times. But as I have a good management team and a good leader, my tender was out of commission for 4 months. We attended emergency at Kaswa, and then we also encountered a fire outbreak, and it got spoiled our appliance, and it was off for almost 4 months. But we reported the issue to our chief officer, and as you can testify, we've told the appliance to our Greater Accra Regional Mechanic Shop, and the mechanics are on it, working on it, so that hopefully, God willing, by the second week of next month, it will be in operation. And firefighting too has not been easy. You know, the challenge, we have a lot of challenges in fuel matter, because you know our appliances that we are using are of over age, so we just manage it.
Yeah, so Akwesi, normally when it gets to Harmattan periods like these, fire outbreaks become almost close to inevitable. We want to know what the service is advising for residents who are in certain prone areas like this.
Okay, so considering the fact that the station currently do not have the fire appliance, it is putting in place measures to ensure that fires do not even occur in the first place. So what they're doing is that they have now enhanced public education and sensitization, as well as ensuring compliance of safety tips and then all fire regulations. And so DO1 says that they are expecting that people would pay much attention to the education they are offering, just to ensure that they do not even encounter fire situations, especially in their domestic residential buildings.
Indeed, many thanks to you, Akwesiado, as a correspondent who was bringing us updates from Weija. Now, George.
And now the transition team has received reports from its various subcommittees at a meeting on Friday, December 27, 2024. In a statement issued by the team spokespersons, Fatimata Abubakar and Phyllis Kwachiofosu noted that the meeting, which took place at the Accra International Conference Center, as part of measures to ensure smooth and efficient transfer of power and responsibilities across different governance sectors. The statement disclosed that all the subcommittees successfully presented their reports, with the exception of the Social Sector Subcommittee. No reason was given for the failure of the social sector subcommittee to present its report. Well, all this is to pave way for the 7th January inauguration that will bring into office the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. We'll be keeping tabs on this and surely update you in our subsequent bulletin. This takes us to our second break. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning.
You're welcome back from the short break. You're still watching Weekend Central. Let's do some more stories. And she is a history maker, from the first female in the country to head a public university to the first female to become a vice president in the Republic of Ghana. Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. We have our Evelyn Tingma, who is our reporter, and she will be exploring the story here. But let's before we bring you this, let's go to Armstrong Gold, who is at Abokobi, to bring us a story.
Election, we are told the total registered voters here amount to some 689, and should this election take place, we'll get to know who wins the election here. But we'll be talking to a few of the people here. Let's find out what they make of the decision by the EC to have a rerun election here should everything go to this. Sir, please let me talk to you quickly. Boss, you may have heard what happened today at the Recollection Center at the EC office. It's likely that they'll have a rerun election here. What do you make of this? Do you think the NDC or the MPP, whichever party, do you think will be carrying the day?
Rather than I'm disappointed about the outcome of the EC today, because Eli Klimakurugu have sold her message to the constituency people, and they bought into it, and they pay her a winning pride. Michael Kwe was a lazy type, could not work or to not campaign in the constituency. He's only going around sharing money, thinking that the money can do the magic. Whilst Eli Klim is on the ground doing every dirty work. She has won. I don't know the reason why EC is trying to bring confusion into this constituency. I'm really disappointed.
You guys are ready for the rerun if should this happen?
We are not ready because we have been declared already winner. We are not ready. It will not happen.
But per the rules now, it's likely there will be a rerun here. So
if it is rerun, he will be put into shame. He will be miserably lose the election in this police station again. Well, he will lose.
I've seen many more people are gathering here, and because this is where we are going to have the rerun election. I've seen somebody in the NDC colors. So you heard the news?
Yes, I'm a vice chairman of the constituency, and I know after collating all the results, we win massively. So I don't know the reason why he cannot conceive defeat and he's still going around.
Are you ready for the
kind of things? But for rerun, we don't have any problem because already here is our stronghold, here is NDC stronghold, and we have won him over here. So he doesn't have anything to say. Whatever, the only thing is the calculation that they did today too.
Let me talk to some other person. So for them, they believe this place is a stronghold for the NDC, and no matter what, they would win this election at all costs. I've seen many people gathering here. Madam, let me talk to let me talk to you. Okay. So, do you think this election, after everything, will bring peace and you get to know who your parliamentary candidate is?
Yes. Yes. We won.
You as who?
I'm the coordinator of Abokobi ward.
Okay, so you've started campaigning already?
Yes.
Campaign has started?
We've won. They want to just say a lie. Yes.
Okay, very well. So the NDC believes strongly that this place is their stronghold and they are going to win. The total registered number, polling registered here is some 689, and NDC believes that this place is their stronghold, and regardless of whatever happens, they are going to win this place. Boss, you have the last word. Tell me. So you've also Ube country tell me what's in your AC? I can say I have one sure I bear one who have send a bear or parliamentary candidate. What it be?
I'm at the Omoyan about to NDC winning. Mamma winning. Team minimum the Omo still Omo delay nipa or I say no. And you somebody at 10 times, and this baby we need 10 times.
Sir?
And John Bomber or Mama. Winning.
So all the people we speak here are confident that should this rerun happen, the NDC Eliklim Akulugu will take the day, because this polling station, the Abokobi Women Training Center polling station, is a stronghold for the NDC, hence they are going to win hands down. Regardless, they've started campaign already. As I go here, I saw many of them gathered here already trying to talk to the electorate here to get themselves prepared, so that should the AC decide that the voting is taking place either on Monday or Tuesday, they will go and cast their ballots, and we have the decider for the Dome-Kwabenya parliamentary candidates. Over to you in the studios.
Right, many thanks. We have Armstrong Gold Alogbe, who is already gauging the reactions of people at the Dome-Kwabenya constituency, particularly Abokobi, where there is going to be a rerun. Earlier on, Mawena Igbeta brought us some more updates from the EC office. And Dr. Sribo Okweku mentioned that there's supposed to be a rerun at one of the polling stations at Dome-Kwabenya. So we'll just be seeing
For me,
how
I'm really keen to really know the outcome of this very rerun. And
me too.
Apart from that, it's on tonight.
Yes.
So you're from All White Party.
All White Party.
All White Party.
Okay, I'm sorry. Party. So are you changing from burgundy to some white?
I will be there this evening.
You will be
So I've
there.
already bought my table. I bought it with Aisha and some few friends.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
And also Date Rush comes off tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So for those who love Date Rush, this is a perfect time for you to be staying tuned because we'll be bringing you all your love. But it's going to be a private screening
on Sunday, so sure, and then make time. And then also be at 3 FM All White Party. It's happening at the La Palm Royal Beach. It's going to be massive food, drinks.
Yes.
Honestly, I can't wait for the vibe.
And you see all the performance that is going to happen.
Exactly.
I'm going to love it.
Yeah. Stoneboy and then the other, just be there.
Yes.
I want you to be there because myself and Sappho are coming anyway.
Yes.
Well, that's how we wrap up today's edition of Weekend Central. I came to you live from the news app here. For more news updates, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. My name is Josh Cranin.
And I'm Sappho Abwang. You do have a lovely day.
Good afternoon.